Her passion for impacting knowledge and helping the destitute achieve academic goals moved her to institute Deborah David Empowerment Foundation in 2017. She is articulate and persuasive in dealing with issues of balancing with sundry stakeholders, keenly inclined to staff mentoring and team leadership to improve on work efficiency and turnaround time. Deborah is currently an executive in African Circle Pollution Management Limited based in Nigeria. Prior to this, she has worked with MTN, KPMG, GlaxoSmithKline PLC, and Centrica.8. Please let me welcome our speaker for today.
Good morning, everyone, and I feel so excited to be here today. I would like to stand on esteem protocol so that we can save time. I want to first appreciate God and I appreciate Covenant University so deeply for this program. Covenant University, as I would like to repeat what the registrar said yesterday, has been in the forefront of promoting leadership and entrepreneurship. Part of the reasons we are here today is to share knowledge and shift our paradigms to be able to do things better in our journey to sustainable development. So without much ado, I would like to start and go into my outline. And I'll urge you to type in your questions or send them to the email that have been sent to you during registration. Time is of essence, and I believe there are entrepreneurs here. Whether you're selling anything now or you're on your journey, everybody is an entrepreneur. So without further ado, I'd like to share my screen. I hope my screen is visible right now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, good. Thank you for that feedback. Let me go to the PowerPoint slide. Yes, this is what I need now. So thank you all for being here. Stay with me. I just have 25 slides, and by 25 minutes I should be done, hopefully. Now, our discussion outline is programmed along this line. We will discuss Africa. Our conversations will be on sustainable development. We'll have conversations around entrepreneurship. We'll have conversations around innovative models. To satisfy the theme of the program, innovative entrepreneurship models and sustainable development in Africa. Now, what do you see on my screen? Is the cup half full or half empty? I'm here to shape paradigms. I'm here to let you know that it is not the way everybody calls everything that you need to call it. If you are going to ever innovate, you must see differently. If you say the cup is half full, that is your choice. If you say the cup is half empty, it's also your choice. But at the end of the day, by the time we're through with this program, you'll be able to answer a lot of questions that are going on in your mind. I know that everything called Africa is not, new to all of us that are in this room today. And I'm here to ask you again, is the cup half full or half empty? Now, scientists have said because of law of gravity, no metal can fly in the air, nothing can go up, and then whatever it goes up must really come down. And that is what some people believed, and they were dancing around it. Until the right brother says, no, we are going to find out what the issues are, we are going to solve the problem, and by the time we find solutions to the things that are the limiting factors, we should be able to do it. Now the rest is history. So I'd like to let you know that everything you've heard about Africa may be true, but they are incomplete. I'm here to tell you that everything you know about Africa is a scam. Africa is the headquarters of poverty. Africa is, name it, is a long list. Africa has bad leadership. Africa is corrupt. The government is so corrupt, and that's the reason the people are not growing. That's the reason the economy is not growing. That's the reason people are not gathering wealth. That's the reason there's no progress. What if I tell you that every time you hear Africa, you never find anything good on CNN or whatever you are watching? That all those things you are hearing about Africa, they are not correct. They may be correct, but they are not accurate and complete. I'm here to let you know that when you hear Africa, it's not all that you need to hear that you're hearing. And even when you hear whatever you hear, the problems of Africa are the opportunities of Africa. When you hear Africa, how do you feel? You feel poverty, you feel a minority set of people, or do you feel, well, Africa is Africa, let's just escape? So if your feeling is that way, stay with me, we are going somewhere. Now, my question to you is, even if you have all of these details about Africa, what do you do for Africa? How do you think you can do anything? Somebody will say, oh, it's a little drop of water. But it's a little drop of water that actually makes a mighty ocean. Now, this is the Africa I want to say to you today. I am here to brainwash you. I am here to shake your paradigms. I'm here to let you know that Africa does not need the world. The world has always needed Africa. I saw this picture on the internet and I was very happy because it speaks to something, it resonates with me very well. Now, if you look at this picture, it says a lot of things to you. It says to you that Africa is not, the story about Africa is not complete. When you stop at poverty, corruption, bribery, lack of progress, lack of initiative, it's not complete. What about the mineral resources? There are a lot of Africans, I mean, teenagers even. I've watched a video on Richard Turere that solved the problem of electricity in the village. I've read about Kelvin Doe. There are a lot of things that are happening in Africa, a lot of things. In fact, Africans in diasporas. One time I heard one video that they were trying to showcase what Africans are doing all over the world. Now, when we hear that, how do we feel? We feel cool for a moment, yet to become overwhelmed again with the issues of Africa. Like I said to you, all that you have heard about Africa is a scam. We are here to change the world, one step at a time, one positioning at a time, one person at a time. What do I want to tell you about Africa that you cannot find on Google? But it's actually how you see it. I heard a story, anonymous story, can't confirm where it came from, that two people went into a country where people were not wearing shoes. And one person saw the problem, the other person saw the opportunity. So what are you seeing when you see Africa? What are you seeing when you heard of Africa? Somebody said, oh, they are so poor. And the other person said, what? This is a business here. I can actually make shoes very affordable. Nylon shoe, paper shoe, whatever, as long as people are wearing shoes, and make them very cheap. And that was the beginning of a business for the second person. I heard the person dropped out of school and went to the business of selling shoes. That is what I'm talking to you about Africa. Africa has resources. Africa has approximately 30% of the Earth's remaining mineral resources. What are we doing with it? Nigeria is the fourth largest oil exporter in the world and the largest in Africa. I know that many of us here, I know this is an international conference, however, many of us here are Nigerians. Africa has the second most populous continent after Asia. That means we have people strength. What did Asia do with their strength? You find Chinese everywhere. You find a lot of people everywhere doing one thing or the other. Don't you know that America has a cheaper way to produce whatever they want to produce in China? Well, what is Africa doing with its population? Because we are seeing the cup half empty. Africa has over 50% of Africans are under the age of 25. That gives me hope. Because the meaning is that the generation that is coming, they have capacity, equal capacity to make a change, to make a twist, to give a turn. In the way they have made the world, they can turn it around. We should not localize a global problem. There is no problem in Africa that is not anywhere. As I have heard in the citation, I've been to 3 states in America. Poverty is general. Is it unemployment? It's everywhere. Now you can correct me and say, oh, Madam Keynote Speaker, this issue of poverty is more prevalent in Africa. Yes, but it does not mean that other countries do not have it. Have you seen poverty in Asia? Have you seen poverty in any country in Europe? They are everywhere. There are beggars everywhere. There are mad people on the streets everywhere. Recently, I was watching a video making rounds on George Floyd that Americans were protesting, but some people were also looting. A lot of people went looting. I saw people enter Nike shop, came out, do all kinds of things that you would think that maybe you want to say is synonymous with what the street boys will do in Lagos. The same thing. So we like to look. Why do we want to amplify our own issues? Why do we want to, localize a global issue? Everything that's happening in Africa is happening everywhere else in the world. And I'll also tell you, Algeria is Africa's the biggest country, but Nigeria is largest in population. Nigeria has reserves of metals, of precious metals, reserves in platinum. As a matter of fact, most of the things that people use for all this, your iPhones, everything, they are resources that are received or extracted from Africa. What does that tell you? That the cup is half full. We are on our way going somewhere. And I have hope. I'm a big believer in preaching hope in Africa, because there is no situation itself that is permanent. If you go to Singapore today, you will want to be there. But please go and research the history of Singapore. Nigeria used to give Ghana loan, but that's no longer the issue. No condition essentially is permanent. What are we here to discuss? We are not here to tell us the government is our problem. Yes, they may be, but we are not here to point fingers at anybody. We are not here discussing. The reason for this conference is not to tell us that, oh, Americans will not come and fix Africa for you. Who will fix Africa? Africans. Who will fix Nigeria? Nigerians. Who will fix anything? The people in this conference. Now, I moved straight to sustainable goals, and we heard a lot of things about this yesterday. Without much ado, this is from United Nations. The journey started in 2015, I believe. It's a long story. However, there are 17 goals. What these goals are talking about are directions, what they want to see by the year 2030. Don't you say, I'm not a government. Don't you say, I'm not a nation. Like I said, I came to shift your paradigm. We all have something to do about these goals. First, to be aware of them. Next, to love the goals. And next, to promote the goals. And next, to act on the goals. We say by 2030, there will be no poverty. In 2000, we had house for all by the next millennium. Everything for all by the next. We are good at setting goals, but if we do not take steps, we won't get there. So you say no poverty, what can you do about it? Zero hunger, what can you do about it? You have your neighbor. Have you been able to give what you have to somebody else at your level? Talking about good health and well-being. Every day, if you do not know how to do whatever, are you researching? Are you getting educated and informed about how to achieve this goal? Quality education. I read a story about a lady, I think she's an Yugu from Cornell University, trying to get admission into Harvard, and everybody was raising funds for her. She dedicated her life to be teaching poor people who cannot go to school. That's all she was doing. And that is part of sustainable goal. That's part of achieving gender equality. When you see a woman, how do you feel? You feel they're inferior? Or what do you think they are? What is your paradigm? What are you saying about affordable and clean energy? If you have a choice to purchase two things, will you purchase the one that is renewable, recyclable, or will you go after plastics and those things that are not biodegradable? You can do something, I can do something. Each of us can do something about these all 17 goals. They look big, but they are not unachievable. Now, we move forward. If you go online, you will see all of these things. They are not things that are not familiar. Summary of these sustainable goals is, look behind you, environmental protection. What are you doing now to ensure that the future of the generation behind us are preserved, protected, and given to them in a better way? Where you are making money, you think of the environment. While you are making money, you think of social development. Whilst you're doing whatever you're doing, economic growth. Now, what will you do with any of these 17 goals? 2030 is here. It is not too far away. Now, when we say we don't need government is our problem, I am here to also tell you that we cannot get there without partnership. Now, yesterday we learned about different types of partnership in different ways, but I put them per category into two buckets. We need the government. The government needs to make environmental laws and enforce it. They need to follow on with policies. Do not dump waste in water. People should be prosecuted for breaking laws. The government needs to produce infrastructure. They need to give us good roads. They need to do one thing or the other for us. That is in their capacity to do. One person might not be able to build road. Even if you have to build road, you need to go and seek permission and collect licenses and get approvals to do a lot of things. We need government to do public administration. We need government to protect the rights of the citizen. We need them to do what the business of the government is doing, which an individual cannot do. I can't arrest anybody because I'm not empowered by law to do so. So the government needs to do all of those for us, because whilst you are doing your business, if you do not have proper piracy protection or proper piracy law, you are producing your document today or your book today, you find everything on the market, you are not making money. You are into the music industry, before you finish with your innovations, it's out there. So, and we also need the people. My question to you, if you think government is the problem, the government was not the problem when Facebook was being conceived as an idea. There is no law against idea. There is no law against entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs are the ones to take risk. And I'm talking about the people that are in this room. Entrepreneurs are the ones to ensure fair distribution of resources that they accumulate. I like what Mrs. Ibuka did during the COVID-19 era, while everything was still very hot. You know, she founded something called Citizen for Citizen. Whilst people were donating billions, institutions were donating a lot of things, she believed that a little 1,000 naira everywhere. The first person who called my attention to it was my husband. And he said, I have already donated. And I started seeing people donating, and the fund was growing. Now, the people do not have a law against donation. And that's what I mean by fair distribution. As you're accumulating wealth, look behind you and look around you. That one is not government corruption. That one is, there's no limitation about that. You have that power in your hand to do that. So that is what we are doing. This is the narrative. This is the conversation this morning. The government, we are not pointing accusing finger at anybody. From where we are right now, where are we going? And each and every one in this room, a man, a woman, a boy, a girl, wherever level, at whatever age, we are responsible for fixing Africa. We are responsible about little actions and decisions. When you're an entrepreneur, you own a business, a woman is going on maternity leave, you said no salary. Why? Is it because it is the business of women to deliver babies? And that is how we replenish the earth. So in your decision, in your policies, some companies don't promote women. They said, oh, by the time they get married, they start getting pregnant. As long as productivity does not drop. In your choices, in your programming, in the way you recruit, in the way you fire, in the way you hire, are you saying it has to be from your tribe? Or are you saying it has to be somebody who share the same belief with you or look like you in every respect? As an entrepreneur, you can promote the triple bottom line, social, environment, and financial goal. These three things together, people, planet, and profit, when they intertwine, they become sustainable. They leave the world in a better place. You look behind you. You treat the world the way you want the world to treat you. We want a lot of things from Africa, but what are we giving to Africa? You are a barber today, you are a baker, you are into the confectionery industry, you are into fashion, you are into anything. 1,000 naira here you can donate. After all, we have somebody from Leap Africa yesterday. You see a lot of foundations doing one thing or the other. 1,000 naira today, 500 naira tomorrow. When they pull it together, they help you to go to the rural area or other places to sponsor projects and to do sustainable things. That is how you come in. When we begin to think in this direction, we will know that Africa can be fixed. Many countries have had issues in the past. There is no permanent position anywhere. But the difference between yesterday and tomorrow are the actions you are taking today. Let me tell you ABC. When you start to learn in school, you learn ABC. A is all about man. B is the season that he's born. D is the season he will die. Those two things are certain about man. You will be born and you will die. Tell me what C is in the middle of B and D. Is choices. The choices that you make to either damage your health or to preserve it. As you're consuming those sugar and you're doing one thing or the other, as anybody begins to smoke, as you begin to do whatever, every choice you make will bring you your repercussion. Every choice that you make will lead to your death faster or will prolong your life. So what is entrepreneurship very quickly? Entrepreneurship, simply put, is the pursuit of opportunity beyond the resources you currently control. Entrepreneurship is all that you can call it, as long as you're seeking opportunity, as long as you're willing and bold and brave to take a risk and to step into new places. And that is why I said beyond the resources that you can control. And I do not want to say too many things about entrepreneurship, because everybody's an entrepreneur. We are promoting one thing or the other. It's just at different level and how much risk you are willing to face. And you will be a good entrepreneur if you can see the cup half full or half empty. Now, there are 4 buckets in which generally entrepreneurship has been classified. Small businesses. And there's no business that cannot grow. Like a salon, like you have a lot of examples of small businesses that maybe it's just sole proprietorship, one person doing it. Another bucket is scalable startups. We have the companies that thrive at VP Stack. They are not very large. They are not floated on the stock exchange, but they are scalable. They have established structures. They have put in place things that can help them to move from point A to point B. They are scalable, and they have started, and they have the structure, their HR, the finance, and everything working properly. Now, another bucket is the large companies that you're familiar with, the banks, the big companies that are into industries. You may not know them as entrepreneurs. They are actually entrepreneurship. As long as they're seeking new opportunities, as long as they are playing the market and they are taking risks. Now, the other sector is social entrepreneurs. The social entrepreneurs are people who are not set up for profit, but they also do business. Business is transaction. Business is what you do with people. Whatever you do to impact anybody, you are doing business. Now, so the social entrepreneurs, because they are not funded, they are not founded for profit making, but they are actually impacting us one way or the other. Look at the Red Cross, look at the Rockefeller Foundation, look at Leap Africa, look at Impact Africa. They are entrepreneur in their right. Now, we are moving straight to innovation. When we talk about innovation, innovation is everything you call it. Innovation is A becoming B. Innovation is what can be better. Innovation is, for example, I had done water business before at different levels. When I was younger, I said cold water, we used to call it ice water tutu, in the open market and all that. In those seasons as well, we had ragolis, we have swan, we have bottled water. But there was a middle point that people were not exploring. So some people wanted the water more hygienic than ice water, and then they go into pure water or sachet water. Some people will do something differently. Now, how do you innovate? You don't innovate because of innovation. Right? If I look at Amazon now, you don't need to say, oh, I require to set up structures and put machines in place and begin to have asset properties or whatever before you innovate. For example, Amazon, they have no store, but they've been able to create a platform where sellers meet buyers. Now look at Uber, the same thing. Uber itself has no fleet of cars. Facebook does not create content, but it has created a platform for people to, that's innovation. You are playing in the market, but you are bridging the gap, you are supplying value. You have seen a necessity. And each and everyone in this room can be an innovator. We are actually innovator. You look at a problem differently, and you are able to innovate. Is this a necessity? Yes. Do people need water? Yes. How do they need it? Will this create value for people? Yes. Because we are talking entrepreneurship here. And it's a lot of opportunities right there. You may not go into extraction and start extracting gold, but the existing market that customers are already paying for, you can innovate. I just gave you an example of water. You can play in every market depending on your value or your costs and how much will it create value. When you can answer that question. People want to wear clothes. Yes. In those days, you go to Balogun market, you go to places to go get clothes. Right now, you sit in your house, you order online, and you have it. So people are already paying for it. They already need the service. They already have the product. You can play from that space. You cannot be the gap between people who want to go to My 12 to buy tomatoes and pepper, and they want to sit in their houses, they are busy. So innovation is everything from thinking differently from the norm. Everything that gives value. Everything that adds to the necessity. Everything that customer wants in a different fashion or in a different way. Now quickly, we are talking about entrepreneurship models. A model means a road to the market, road to execution, platform. How do you do what you want to do? I'm here to give you one of the models. There are plenty of models everywhere. A model is what you call it. Yesterday we had the model of like a 4 relationship model. And today I want to give you a simple model. It's not anything. And you can add your own, you can invent your own. A model is your road to execution. A model is a platform, is a framework. Where you need to first be aware what resources are available to you. You need to acknowledge the things around you are changing. When I first joined KPMG, we're doing one of these leadership programs or training, and one of the books they used to teach us was Who Moved by Cheese by Spencer Johnson. The cheese will always move. Everything will change. The way we snap picture when I was 1 year old was not the way pictures are snapped right now. In those days, the camera must first be full. Then they will take you to a black room to print the film. Now you have your picture on your phone. So you need to be aware that things are changing and they will forever change. The world will not be the same in 10 years' time. Please trust me. And you need to do something about what you're doing right now. If you're an entrepreneur on a journey, you are a barber, what can you do differently? You are selling sobo. Do you want to say, okay, I want a sobo with ginger. I want another variety of sobo with garlic. I want zobo for the vegetarians. You can do something new. You are innovating. The same thing you're doing, you can begin to listen to feedback from your customers. What do the customer want? Where is your customer going? Are they going online? COVID-19 has taught us that all your customers are going online. People will stay in their houses and they were getting food stuff. How? So your customers are going somewhere. You need to be aware. Whatever business you're doing, you want to scale up, you want to innovate. Go where the customer goes and you have innovated. Now, Africa, the F is for flip. What do you see? To innovate, you can flip what you currently see. June 12th can be December 6th, depending on how to see it. So you redefine issues. The thing that people call problem can become your opportunity. I was in Congo in February this year, Congo, Brazzaville, and all the shops I entered, I had problem communicating with them. Now I went to Google Translate to be able to ask what I wanted to get. You understand? What if somebody invented a machine that says speak into it and the other person hears the French? Because at the conference where I went for, we had 4 channels. There was a channel for Portuguese, for French, for English, and one other language. So as the speaker was speaking, if you are a presenter in English, because it was an international conference, as you present in English, the person on channel 2 hears French. The person on channel 3 hears Portuguese. So the same thing can happen in shops. Entrepreneurs in this room can invent a machine where a customer comes in and language does not become a barrier anymore. So there are issues around you. Can you redefine it? Instead of seeing problems, can you see opportunity to do something different? To do something new about what you're doing right now. You can be fierce, you can be fearless, you can be bold, you can be adventurous. Don't say, what if they don't want it? What if they actually want it? If it's a problem and it has value and customers are already paying, then you are innovating. You need to look beyond your limitation. It doesn't have to be the same way everybody is doing it. And don't you try once and drop the matter. Persistence, persistence, persistence will beat resistance. Wake up your sleeping giant. It may not be easy, but it is not impossible. Now I'm here to talk about Africa. I've spoken about A, aware, F, flip, and I'm talking about R right now. R means respond. Respond to the things you see around you. How do you respond? You respond with quality, products and services. I just said now that if I have a language issue in a country where I don't speak their language, I should not have a problem going to do business in Lome. You know? So how do you respond? We need quality products that people cannot resist. Facebook, in those days when you post a letter, you would need to wait for 9 posts to deliver your letter. You need to wait again for the letter to come back. But somebody said no. You can be in Nigeria and communicate with somebody. You can send video, text, and graphics on WhatsApp. Now, that's a good quality product that nobody will resist because it's solving problems. And when you want to innovate, you think global. You can be a local company, but you can think global. There are a lot of Nigerian startups that are thinking globally. And you can advertise. You need to be seen. You need to be reached. To innovate, to scale up, to move Africa forward. Yes, you can start from somewhere, but ensure that you are moving forward. Respect your customers' feedback. They will always give you feedback. They will tell you something you can change. They may want it in colors, purple, green, and yellow. Innovation teaches you to listen to what they are saying. Whatever you do now, you want to make velvet cake, and somebody say, I don't want fondant. Innovation comes by what the customer is looking for. Can you make it softer? Can it be big glossy? Now, I go straight to I in Africa, and I is imagination. You need to sit back and think through. In case nothing is happening around you, you fuel your imagination, read magazines. Nigeria is Nigeria, but what's happening in Ghana? What's happening anywhere else in the world? You need to begin to hold healthy conversations with people. There are businesses that have come up that I've read about that it was 2 friends discussing. And they say, we can actually start this thing. And they start. Talk about Facebook, talk about any other business that you're already familiar with. A lot of times it starts from conversation. Oh, can we do something about this? You say yes. So when you are on Facebook, when you're on Instagram and Twitter, what are you tweeting? Who are you following? What are you discussing? Are you discussing innovation, businesses, and how to move things forward? You need to imagine, and in imagination, you feed your subconscious. Some people, imagination comes up during music. You go to new places, you listen to teachings, you see videos. Video will make you to see things, pictures. Step out of your immediate environment. You don't have to go physically. And sometimes when you do exercises regularly, blood circulates through you, flow, you begin to, your brain moves in a particular direction. Read stories about successful people. Enough. During COVID-19, there were many issues. However, some people were reading good stories, and a lot of people were making money. Some people went into the business of selling data online because everybody needs data to stay alive. So befriend the internet. You want to innovate, you want your imagination to soar high. There is nothing you want to do now that has not been done somewhere. There is nothing new under the sun. Where your imagination, use the internet. See, in Africa is connect. Connect with your inner self. Your gut feelings will tell you some things. Trust it. Collaborate. Exist in a community. You're a woman that is WIMBIS. Last week, I was listening to a topic on WIMBIS. It was very, it opened my eyes to a lot of possibilities. There are many associations like that. You're an engineer, there's current. Make sure you are in your community that, they discuss what you need. Somebody in your community may have an idea that is better than what you're doing now. Innovation does not exist in a vacuum. Now, I tell you a story about tibia and fibula. They are the two bones on your leg. The one in front, I think it's called the tibia. I'm not a scientist. Because it's exposed and not surrounded by muscles and tissues, when you hit that place against any hard surface, it gives you a lot of pain. Why? It's not surrounded. Be like the other bone that is surrounded, so that when you fail, you are cushioned. You can start up again. You can ask this person, oh, how did you do this? He says, yes. Now, I'm also here to preach copying for you. Copy. But when you copy right. You don't copy exactly. Now, I was using BlackBerry when BlackBerry started, right down there in many years. But what happened? We don't have BlackBerry. I used Nokia. In 2001, when I was working with MTN, 19 years ago, my first phone was Ericsson T20. I mean, it was one of the premium phones there. Where is Ericsson T20 right now? But if you check Samsung and Apple, they are busy. Have you put a camera? I will put a camera. It may not be the same. Have you put a video? I'll put a video. Have you put this? Look at this time of season of COVID. Of course, Zoom has always been there. But you see, Google has come out, Google Meet. Yahoo, now you can hold a meeting. WhatsApp, you can hold a meeting. Every other platform, they are trying to stay relevant because that is what is happening right now. So you can copy. What is wrong in copying? The English you are speaking, you copied it. It has always been there. Every language you're speaking now, you are copying. We have not been copying from our mother's womb. That's why we have mother's tongue. So copy. If you are selling anything and your neighbor has gone far, has changed the proof, the tamper proof from nylon to recyclable, whatever, go ahead and do the same. Keep copying, because if you don't copy, you cannot innovate. You may not copy exactly, but the concept that is similar and valuable, you can copy. Now, I move very quickly again to A in Africa, which is the last. You want to be sustainable, you want to be scalable, accountability is everything you call it. Be accountable, starting from integrity to keeping proper records. If you're supposed to pay taxes and you're not paying it, if you run into a problem with government, the business is gone. Serve your customer. Be accountable to them. You're in business to serve them as an entrepreneur. Even if you're a social entrepreneur, you are serving a particular niche of the market. You are serving people. If you are set up for health, do something. And make sure you are accountable to your conscience. Make sure you are faithful. Keep records. Make everything up to date. I can't say too many things about accountability. Now, what are we doing from this conference? We are taking away the fact that nature is inexhaustible. What do you see from this picture? You see what we do regularly, but what can you do differently? As you fell a tree, you remember to plant another one. Look behind you. Whatever you do, make sure as you are taking from the earth, you are returning back to the environment. Don't pollute the environment. Whatever you do, you can always do better. Yes, tomatoes will always come because farmers will always plant. Imagine if nobody plants now. Are you going to get tomato next? That's a food for thought. Now, I have a picture here as well to provoke your mind. This is fishing. What can you do about this fishing expedition? What can you do differently? You are not a fisher, no problem. But you can join the value chain. You can market fish. You can preserve fish. You can have cold rooms. You can do a lot of things around the businesses that are being done right now. Innovation does not mean you must start from the moon, something that has never happened. A lot of business. Look around you. Look around you. What is currently happening around you that you can do differently?